There's a new pope, Pope Leo XIV. He's the first American pope, and this for me was the first papal conclave I ever paid attention to. Of course, I was alive for Pope Francis in 2013, but I wasn't paying any attention to it. I wasn't interested in these things. I've only been really interested in the Catholic Church for the past 5 years, and it was a wild experience, I have to say. I was sitting at work. I was at a conference, actually, and I had the laptop pulled up, and I've been checking the news, and then I see, oh, there's white smoke, and so I pull up a live stream of it, and sitting there, and just kind of off on a screen, and we're working, and then the moment the doors are opening, I'm like, guys, it's happening. And what was fascinating to me was that, I hear my boss's boss like, hey, turn up the volume, like I want to see this, and everyone crowds around to look at the new pope, despite none of them, as far as I can tell, being practicing Catholics, but everyone in the room was glued to the screen to watch this man come through the doors and to greet the world. And I think all of us had this sense of like something special is happening here. And I know for me specifically, watching the crowd, seeing all the flags waving, seeing all of the people with tears streaming down their faces, it was a powerful thing to look at. I recently had a conversation with Joe Heschmeyer where he said one of the things that helped him come back to the Catholic Church was watching a papal funeral, I think when he was like in his college years. And it just seemed like it was a small line in a conversation, but in this case, watching this, I could see it. Like this idea of a universal church, seeing them all gathered to greet the new Holy Father was just such a beautiful thing. I love that he also prayed in Latin, or greeted in Latin, and then spoke in Italian and Spanish. I thought it was kind of funny that he didn't speak in English, to be honest. But it was just a beautiful testament to what I think are some of the best parts of the Catholic Church, that universality, the tradition, the pomp and circumstance. Like that is a neat part. And coupling that with what seemed to be, care for the poor and the outcast and the brief remarks that he gave. But look, I have no great insight into what Pope Leo XIV will be like. And I think it's worth saying that, like, not really any of us do. Sure, there are people out there somewhere that know him, but the rest of us talking heads on the internet, like, we don't know. We're all reading the same bios. We're finding out what he wrote his, dissertation thesis on or whatnot. Like, and it's great, and we can conjecture and all that. But, and look, I'm not even Catholic, so it's not my place to tell people how to react to this. But I think it is worth, just saying like, we don't know. But on a very superficial level, here are 3 things that excite me about Pope Leo XIV. Number 1. He's from Chicago. I have a deep love for the city of Chicago. It's where I went to school, and I think it's the best city in America. Right up there with Baltimore, where I live now, to which you might be saying you have the worst taste in cities of all time, but I think those are both cities with real soul and heart, and I love it. And Chicago is also the place in which I really first began investigating the Catholic Church, and it was through, this leads to the second thing, a group of Augustinian priests that really drew me in at St. John Cantius. And I love the fact that he's the first Augustinian pope. And so it's perhaps slightly less superficial, but also just like a little connection. And the third, that he was the Bishop of Chiclayo. A lot of you might be like, you might not be able to put Chiclayo on a map. That's totally fine. But to me, that's actually a really formative place. I've had the absolute blessing of having gone on, I don't know, something like 8 mission trips or so in my life. But actually the place outside of like where I went to college and places I've lived that I've spent the most time is in Chiclayo. I spent a summer there teaching English in a little 1-room schoolhouse with dirt floors. And I've been to the Amazon. I've been to Africa. I've been to the Dominican Republic. I've been to a lot of places, and it was there teaching English that I had my most profound experience firsthand with poverty, and sitting on people's dirt floors and eating rice with them for dinner. And just to know that he was the bishop of Chiclayo is a special thing for me, because it's a city that will always hold a really special place in my heart. I also helped build a school there on a couple other trips, and I'll forever be grateful for my time there. So it's really fun for me to see how he ties these things together. But look, that doesn't tell you anything about him, right? It tells you things about me, and we don't know. But I think all of us, no matter who we are, should pray for the Pope, whether you're a Protestant or Catholic or otherwise. At the very least, he's a man that commands the attention of over 1 billion people. and has influence in high circles of the world, and in a time where war is breaking out all over. May we pray that he can have a role in bringing peace to that. May we pray that he has a role in making the Catholic Church as beautiful, good, and true as it can be, whether you think it is the pinnacle of those things already or not. Certainly he has this opportunity to do something special. And I hope and I pray that he does. So no matter who you are, I hope that you were able to get caught up in the excitement of this, like me and my coworkers did today, because it's not something we see every day. And I think it does speak to something special happening here. Anyway, those are just some brief thoughts on Pope Leo XIV, but may God bless him and his ministry.